Nanny Faye recently expressed how the prison sentence with her son Todd has broken her heart. Todd and Julie Chrisley started their prison sentences in January. The 79-year-old Chrisley Knows Best star goes into detail on a podcast. Todd and Julie to serve 19 years in prison. Todd Chrisley was sentenced to 12 years in prison and Julie was sentenced to 7 years in prison. The married couple got arrested over tax fraud. As a result, Nanny Faye is just devastated at the outcome for her son and daughter-in-law. Nanny Faye feels as though she has to be the glue for the family in this hard time. On Podcast One's The Southern Tea, Faye states, "I am the queen, and the sergeant is still barking orders. I have to be the backbone. I have been and I will be. I check on each and everyone to make sure they're doing what they need to be doing. Am I in a dark place? I am in a real dark place. But I know that there is going to be light at the end of the tunnel." Fans feel for Nanny Faye as she is having to keep the family together as best as she can until the couple gets released. They only started their sentence in January, so they have a long road ahead of them. Nanny Faye is staying true to her beliefs. Regardless of what has happened with her son and daughter-in-law, she has stayed true to her religious beliefs and continues to praise God and follow in His path. Faye has expressed that her religion is a big part of what keeps her going. She feels like there is hope at the end of it all. Faye refers to the Bible when thinking of Todd being in prison. And you know what? When Daniel was in the lion's den, he never worried about the lions. He always stayed focused. And you see what happened to him, and that's what's going to happen to them, and I believe it within my heart. And I'm here to make sure that my grandchildren and those two little greats have the love that they need and the guidance that they need. Fans applaud Nanny Faye for staying strong, even during these hard times. People reported Nanny Faye will find strength through the hardships. Although Faye is trying to hold it together as best as she can for her family, this has been a hard and trying time for the whole Chrisley clan. Savannah has had to take on the role of raising her two siblings and fans are supporting her. How do you feel about Todd and Julie's arrest? Do you feel bad for Nanny Faye? Sound off in the comments below. Nanny Faye Chrisley sat in her cozy living room, the walls adorned with family photos that span generations. The room exuded warmth and love, much like Nanny Faye herself. She sipped her sweet tea, her eyes distant as she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. It was a journey filled with deep pain, but also with resilience and a secret that had carried her through the darkest times. Nanny Faye's life had not been an easy one. Born in the rural South, she had faced poverty, hardship, and loss from a young age. Her family struggled to make ends meet, and the harsh realities of life often seemed insurmountable. Yet, through it all, Nanny Faye had maintained an indomitable spirit and an unwavering faith. As she grew older, Nanny Faye married and started a family of her own. Her children brought her immense joy, but they also brought new challenges. She faced the heartbreak of losing loved ones and the trials of raising her children in a world that often seemed unforgiving. Despite the pain, she remained a pillar of strength for her family, always offering a comforting word and a shoulder to lean on. But there was a secret that Nanny Faye held close to her heart, a secret that had helped her navigate the rough waters of life. Nanny Faye set her tea down and took a deep breath. She glanced at the photo of her late husband, his smile a reminder of the love they had shared. "It's time," she whispered to herself. She picked up the phone and called her granddaughter, Savannah. "Savannah, honey, can you come over? There's something I need to talk to you about." Within the hour, Savannah was at Nanny Faye's doorstep, her concern evident. "Nanny, are you okay? You sounded serious on the phone." Nanny Faye smiled, a mix of sadness and determination in her eyes. "I'm fine, sweetheart. But there's something I need to share with you, something I've kept to myself for a long time." They settled into the living room, and Nanny Faye began to speak. "Life has thrown a lot at me, Savannah. There have been times when I didn't know if I could go on. But through all the pain and heartache, I found something that gave me strength. It's my secret to overcoming. Savannah listened intently, her eyes wide with curiosity. What is it, Nanny? Nanny Faye took another deep breath, her voice steady. It's forgiveness, Savannah. True, heartfelt forgiveness. It's not easy, and it doesn't come quickly. But it's the only way to free yourself from the chains of pain and anger. Savannah's brow furrowed. Forgiveness? How did you come to that realization? Nanny Faye leaned back, her eyes gazing into the distance. When your grandfather passed away, I was consumed by grief and anger. I felt like life had stolen him from me. For years, I carried that bitterness with me. It ate away at my happiness and clouded my heart. She paused, her voice trembling slightly. One day, I was sitting alone, crying and praying for some kind of relief. And then it hit me. I realized that holding on to that anger was only hurting me. It wasn't bringing him back. I needed to let go, to forgive life for what it had taken from me. Nanny Faye's eyes met Savannah's, filled with a profound wisdom. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean condoning what happened. It means releasing the hold that pain has on your heart. It means choosing to find peace despite the hurt. Savannah wiped away a tear, her admiration for her grandmother growing with each word. How did you do it, Nanny? How did you find the strength to forgive? Nanny Faye smiled softly. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. I prayed, I cried, and I leaned on the love of my family. I reminded myself that life is precious, and holding on to pain was wasting the time I had left. Slowly, I began to let go. And with each step, I felt lighter, freer. She reached out and took Savannah's hand. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's something you have to choose every day. But it's worth it, Savannah. It brings a peace that nothing else can. Savannah nodded, feeling the weight of her grandmother's words. Thank you, Nanny. I think I understand now. Nanny Faye smiled, her heart full. Remember, sweetheart, life's too short to hold on to pain. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. As they sat together, the sun setting in the distance, Savannah felt a sense of clarity and purpose. Nanny Faye's secret to overcoming had not only given her strength but had also imparted a valuable lesson to the next generation. Forgiveness, though difficult, was the key to unlocking a life filled with peace and resilience. Nanny Faye Chrisley had faced her share of deep pain, but through forgiveness, she had discovered the secret to overcoming. And now, that secret would continue to guide her family, offering them hope and strength for the challenges that lay ahead.